Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into a comparison that, well, it seems almost inevitable once you've journeyed through both worlds. The striking, sometimes uncanny similarities between Harry Potter and Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
We've got some incredible source material here. It really digs into these connections, helping you see what's most important in the notes you shared with us.
It's a comparison. Rick Riordan, the author of Percy Jackson, has actually addressed himself. Our source notes point out he's quite open about J.K. Rowling's series being an influence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, particularly seeing how much it resonated with his own students when he was teaching. He saw that, deep engagement and sort of wanted to capture a similar appeal.
Right, exactly. He saw kids rereading Sorcerer's Stone like, what, 5-6 times?
Yeah.
And thought, okay, how can I tap into that kind of magic, but, for my stories? Which, let's remember, started as bedtime tales for his son.
Mm-hmm.
But the source makes a really critical point here, doesn't it? That while there's influence, the deepest similarities aren't really about one copying the other.
Absolutely. The source really emphasizes that these parallels run so deep because both authors are drawing from the same ancient well. We're talking folklore, mythology, storytelling traditions, stuff that goes back thousands of years.
Wow.
They're both building these very original and modern stories, as the source puts it, using these incredibly old blueprints.
And that's basically the mission here, right? To explore that, to walk through the source notes you sent, highlight the most striking parallels, characters, plot points, places, creatures, all that stuff.
And help understand how these two creative powerhouses built something new and beloved out of something so ancient.
Exactly.
Okay, but before we really jump in, one really important warning for you listening. This deep dive will contain major spoilers, both series. Harry Potter and Percy Jackson.
Seriously, big one. So if you're not caught up on both, maybe hit pause, bookmark this, come back later.
Yeah, you've been warned.
All right, spoiler warning issued. Let's start right where any good story does, with the hero's foundation.
The beginning.
Yeah. The source points out both series feature a young male hero, roughly middle school age, who starts out in the ordinary world, totally unaware of his powers or the magical world he actually belongs to.
And the physical description is, well, it's surprisingly similar. The source notes mention dark hair, green eyes for both Harry and Percy.
Huh. Didn't even consciously clock that one.
Right. And beyond looks, their starting points are pretty rough. Both live in these unpleasant homes with decidedly unpleasant guardians.
Yeah, the Dursleys.
Exactly. And Percy, initially, with his awful stepfather, Gabe, nasty characters.
And then, bam, the classic move.
Yeah.
They get that undeniable call to adventure. It just yanks them out of that ordinary, miserable world and straight into their destiny.
It's the classic hero's journey setup, right there, textbook, which then leads them, naturally, to a special, hidden, magical place, designed specifically for kids like them to learn and train.
Hogwarts for Harry.
Camp Half-Blood for Percy.
And the physical settings themselves have these weird commonalities. The source mentions both locations cover a huge amount of land.
Yes, sprawling.
Feature a big central building, the Hogwarts Castle, the big house at Camp Half-Blood, and both properties include both water and a forest.
Creates a similar kind of secluded, sprawling, slightly wild atmosphere, doesn't it?
Totally. Then once they arrive, there's this whole system for placing students into distinct groups.
The Hogwarts houses.
Gryffindor, Slytherin, etc.
And the godly parent cabins at Camp Half-Blood.
What's fascinating here, and this is a very specific parallel the source highlights, is how they're placed.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
In both series, something is literally put on top of their head to sort them out.
The sorting hat for Harry,
And for Percy, it's that shimmering signal of their godly parent appearing right above them when they're claimed.
It's such a unique visual way to define their identity within that magical world. Really specific.
And once they're placed, the source notes another small, but again specific detail. Each group has designated tables where they have to sit to eat together.
Reinforces that sense of belonging, but also division, Like, these are your people now.
And our hero doesn't just blend in. No way. They're immediately marked as special, set apart from everyone else.
Harry is the boy who lived, right. Already famous just for surviving Voldemort as a baby.
And Percy. He's revealed to be a child of one of the big three gods, Poseidon. Which, hadn't happened in ages.
Yeah, totally unheard of for generations. It instantly makes him this figure of immense importance, but also, a bit of suspicion, too. Breaks all the rules.
Okay, so building on that, let's talk core relationships. Both heroes pick up their two main companions very early on. It's pretty much always one boy and one girl.
Harry gets Ron and Hermione.
Percy gets Grover and Annabeth. The trio forms fast.
And the roles these friends play often mirror each other, too. The source points out the girlfriend is consistently the smart one, the clever one.
The brains of the operation.
Yeah, often fitting that know-it-all archetype, but in a good way. Hermione and Annabeth are crucial.
Definitely. While the boyfriend is presented as the loyal, steadfast best friend figure.
Ron for Harry, Grover for Percy. They kind of ground the hero, offer that unwavering support, maybe some comic relief, too.
Totally. And they both have that classic, old, wise mentor figure, super important.
Dumbledore for Harry, Chiron the Centaur for Percy.
And the source even notes this lovely specific detail. Both mentors are mentioned as having a distinctive twinkle in their eyes.
Oh, I love that detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it suggests wisdom, maybe a touch of mischief, or like they know more than they're letting on.
Exactly. Now, on the flip side, there's also the main rival or bully figure right there at the magical school or camp.
Draco Malfoy at Hogwarts.
Ugh. And Clarice LaRue at Camp Half-Blood.
And each comes with their own little crew or faction backing them up. Malfoy's got Crabbe and Goyle, and sort of the Slytherin house vibe.
Right, and Clarice has the whole heir's cabin behind her. Muscle.
And here's where the source adds an interesting layer. You often get introduced to the rival's really unpleasant parent.
Lucius Malfoy.
Or Ares himself, the god of war, Clarissa's dad, and seeing how poorly these figures treat their own kids.
Yeah.
The source suggests it can subtly evoke a little bit of sympathy for the rival. Like maybe their meanness comes partly from their upbringing.
Huh. Adds a layer of complexity, I guess. Makes them not just a flat bully.
Exactly. Now, speaking of antagonistic forces, let's pivot to the main villain, the big bad.
Okay.
Both series feature this incredibly powerful villain who was actually defeated long ago, and now they're in exile, too weak to fully return when the story starts.
Voldemort is basically less than a ghost,
Right.
right? A soul fragment hiding in some forest in Albania, totally dependent on others.
And Kronos, the Titan Lord, he was chopped into pieces and flung into the deepest pits of Tartarus. Seriously incapacitated.
But the timing is crucial. Right as our hero's journey kicks off, this exiled villain is actively threatening to make a comeback.
Yeah, the whispers start, the signs appear. It sets the stage for the conflict across the entire series. The ultimate threat is looming.
And prophecy. Huge driving role in both narratives. Both heroes are burdened with a major prophecy that pretty much dictates their destiny.
Trelawney's prophecy about Harry and Voldemort. Neither can live while the other survives.
Chill. And the great prophecy in Percy Jackson that hangs over Percy and his whole generation of demigods about a child of the eldest gods reaching 16.
And the source highlights this fascinating twist common to both. The prophecy in each series could have potentially applied to someone else.
Oh, right. Like Neville Longbottom in Harry Potter. He fit the criteria, too. Born at the end of July, parents defied Voldemort.
Exactly. And in Percy Jackson, it could have been Thalia, Bianca, or Nico D'Angelo, other children of the big three.
It raises all these questions about fate versus choice, doesn't it? What makes them the chosen one? It's not just being born, it's maybe how they respond to it all.
Yeah, it's not necessarily fixed. Choice plays a huge part. And that complexity extends to other characters, too. The source points out some really compelling arcs for characters who start out looking bad, or at least morally gray, but ultimately prove crucial, even sacrificing themselves in the end. Luke Castellan in Percy Jackson is a prime example. Such a tragic figure.
Oh, Luke, yeah.
And the source draws a direct parallel between Luke's really complex arc and Severus Snape's in Harry Potter.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Both initially serve the villain, seem antagonistic, but their true motivations, their ultimate allegiance, it's more complicated, and both end up dying heroically in a way.
The source even finds another parallel in this space, comparing Snape again, this time, to Selena Beauregard in Percy Jackson.
Yeah, okay.
Both served the villain. Snape was a Death Eater. Selena was secretly a spy for Luke and Kronos.
Right, feeding them information.
But both turn back to the good side, ultimately, and die heroically in the final battle. And what's striking, the source notes, is a shared, powerful motivation for that change of heart, losing the person they loved.
Snape's love for Lily Potter, Selena's love for Beckendorf. That's a potent narrative device for redemption, isn't it?
Really is. Okay. Let's shift gears a bit. Let's explore some elements of the magical world itself, specific locations, objects that show surprising overlap.
Okay, like how you get into the magical world.
Exactly. Both series feature a hidden entrance located within a very real existing landmark that you or I could go visit.
Harry pushing his trolley through the barrier between platforms 9 and 10 at King's Cross Station.
Platform 934. So iconic. And Percy finds out the entrance to Mount Olympus, home of the gods, is just the 600th floor button in an elevator in the Empire State Building lobby.
It really grounds the fantasy in the real world, doesn't it? Like magic is just hidden around the corner.
Totally. And both worlds feature a character named Argus.
Argus?
Yeah, Argus. Works for the magical institution, acts as a sort of overseer or security, someone who sees all that goes on.
Oh, right. Argus Filch, the caretaker at Hogwarts, always snooping around with his cat, Mrs. Norris.
And in Percy Jackson, there's Argus, the head of security at Camp Half-Blood, who literally has 100 eyes all over his body.
Whoa, okay. So it's a shared name and a shared function, this watchful, all-seeing presence. That's pretty specific.
The source even drills down to specific chapter title. Both series, the notes point out, have a chapter titled After a Man or a God with Two Faces.
Two faces.
Referring to Voldemort sharing Professor Quirrell's body in the first Harry Potter book. The back of his head, remember?
Oh, right. Creepy. And the god Janus in Percy Jackson, who literally has two faces looking in opposite directions.
And the source notes the visual descriptions in these chapters are strikingly similar. It's such a specific kind of odd parallel.
Huh. Wild. Speaking of confusing places, the source compares the Department of Mysteries in the Ministry of Magic.
Yeah, that whole sequence in book 5.
To the labyrinth from Greek mythology, which features heavily in Percy Jackson. Both are these vast, confusing, almost maddeningly complex places filled with misleading elements designed to trap you or get you lost.
And significantly, both of these sprawling, disorienting locations end up being the setting for a major climactic battle within their series.
The Battle of the Department of Mysteries were serious.
Oof. And the Battle of the Labyrinth, a huge turning point in the Percy Jackson series. The location itself becomes part of the challenge, part of the danger.
Okay, what about specific magical phenomena or object? The source draws a parallel between the Mirror of Orion.
Desire backward shows your heart's deepest desire.
Right. And the sirens from Greek myth encountered by Percy and Annabeth both have this incredibly potent ability to show you what you desire most deeply.
And that power is dangerous in both cases, isn't it? The source highlights how both can lure people to their downfall or just cause them to waste their lives away, fixated on a fantasy.
Totally. Think of Annabeth at the siren, seeing this perfect future with Luke and her mom.
And Harry just staring night after night at the mirror showing him his dead parents. The source notes their almost addictive quality. It's so hard to pull away from seeing your deepest wish granted, even if it's not real.
Yeah, very tempting trap. Now, the creature parallels, these are abundant, and this is really where that shared ancient well concept you mentioned just hits you over the head.
Like the giant three-headed dog.
Exactly. Both series feature a formidable three-headed dog guarding something incredibly important.
Fluffy, guarding the trapdoor to the Sorcerer's Stone in Book 1.
And Cerberus, the actual hound of Hades, guarding the entrance to the underworld in Percy Jackson.
And in both cases, the heroes manage to get past by, momentarily taming the beast, not fighting it head-on.
Harry uses music, right? From a flute Hagrid gave him. Puts Fluffy to sleep.
And Annabeth uses her wits, basically plays fetch with Cerberus, using a big red rubber ball.
It's a shared mythological figure handled in a pretty similar non-violent way. Cleverness over brute force.
There's also that specific winged horse-like creature that only the main hero and maybe a few others can actually see or talk to.
Okay, I know this one. In Harry Potter, it's the Thestral, the skeletal winged horse.
Visible only to those who've witnessed death. Harry sees them after Cedric died. Luna sees them too.
Right. And in Percy Jackson, it's Blackjack, the Pegasus. And Percy can understand him, talk to him, because of his heritage as a son of Poseidon, the creator of horses.
It's this unique kind of eerie connection tied directly to their nature or experience.
And the source just lists so many other shared creatures drawn directly from ancient folklore and mythology. Centaurs.
Mermaids.
Sphinxes.
Oh.
The list goes on. And like the source creator notes, when you're pulling from stories that are thousands of years old, well, yeah, of course there's going to be overlap.
It powerfully reinforces that idea, doesn't it? Building new, modern stories right on top of this ancient mythological bedrock.
Absolutely. Let's look at some specific plot points now and character arcs that the source identifies as really echoing each other across.
Okay.
A key one happens near the end of an early book in both series. The villain or someone working for them reveals their true identity and then tries to eliminate the hero, usually with poison or venom.
Ooh. In The Lightning Thief, the very first Percy Jackson book, Luke reveals he's the traitor working for Kronos.
Yeah, the friendly counselor guy. Big twist.
And then he summons this deadly scorpion from Tartarus to sting and poison Percy.
And compare that to Chamber of Secrets, Book 2 of Harry Potter. Tom Riddle reveals he's Voldemort.
Through the diary.
And then he sets the basilisk on Harry, and Harry gets poisoned by its venom. It's a very similar climactic structure. The reveal, then the near-fatal poisoning attempt.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty close. close. What else?
There's a neat comparison in how stranded characters get picked up by magical transportation.
Like when they're stuck somewhere.
Exactly. Annabeth uses a special drachma coin to summon the Grey Sisters' magical taxi, this chaotic speeding cab driven by 3 blind witches who share one eye.
Sounds terrifying.
And the source points out it feels very much like the night bus in Harry Potter, right? The purple triple-decker bus that zooms around picking up stranded witches and wizards who stick out their wand arm. Emergency transport.
Yeah, the vibe is definitely similar. Desperate measures transport.
And a recurring theme, almost cinematic, that the source highlights is statues coming to life to fight or defend, especially in big climactic battles.
Oh, yeah. In the final battle of The Last Olympian, the last Percy Jackson book, all those statues in New York City animate to help defend Manhattan against Kronos' army.
So cool. And in Deathly Hallows, Professor McGonagall famously brings the Hogwarts statues in suits of armor to life. Pure totem locomotor.
Gives me chills just thinking about it. Hogwarts is threatened. Man the boundaries. Protect us.
The source points out other instances, too, like statues helping the heroes escape Kronos' minions in the Titan's Curse.
Right, the automatons in the Smithsonian.
And Dumbledore animating the statues in the Ministry of Magic atrium during his duel with Voldemort in Order of the Phoenix. It's this consistent visual motif, inanimate protectors springing to life when needed most.
That's a great catch. Okay, what about, like, book structure?
Good question. The source notes a structural parallel in how one specific book in each series is largely dedicated to exploring a key character's complex past, mostly through flashbacks or viewing memory.
Okay.
The Last Olympian spends significant time delving into Luke's history, why he turned against the gods, his relationship with Thalia and Annabeth, mostly through Percy witnessing his memory.
Ah, right. Makes you understand him better, even if you don't agree with him.
Exactly. And the Half-Blood Prince is almost entirely structured around Harry and Dumbledore exploring Voldemort's past through memories stored in the Pensieve, learning how Tom Riddle became Voldemort.
So a whole book focused on understanding the antagonist or the really complex figure's backstory. Makes sense.
The source also identifies characters who use a specific distinctive symbol as their personal mark or emblem signature sign, and points out that these symbols themselves often have much older origins than the characters using them. Daedalus, the inventor in Percy Jackson, uses the Greek delta symbol as his mark.
Which has ancient mathematical and symbolic meaning.
Right. And Grindelwald, the dark wizard before Voldemort, uses the symbol of the Deathly Hallows as his mark. But that symbol represents ancient magical artifact much older than Grindelwald himself.
So the symbols carry their own weight, their own history, beyond the person using them. Interesting.
Both heroes also share this unique, sometimes intrusive ability to see into someone else, often through dreams.
Percy can sometimes see into his satyr friend Grover's dream, especially when Grover's in danger. Like they have this empathic link.
And Harry, famously and painfully, frequently sees into Voldemort's mind, especially during his nightmares or when Voldemort is feeling strong emotion. That connection through the scar.
Yeah, a difficult, often unwanted connection they both grapple with.
And finally, the source wraps up the parallels with a really significant choice made by both heroes right at the end of their respective saga. They both essentially give up something potentially irresistible, something representing ultimate power or an escape from mortality.
Okay, the big finale choice.
Percy is literally offered the chance to become a god, live forever on Olympus, immortality.
Wow.
And he refuses it. Chooses to remain mortal, stay in the human world with his friends, with Annabeth.
And Harry.
Harry, through the course of the last book, ends up in possession of all 3 Deathly Hallows. He could be the master of death, have ultimate power, maybe even over death itself.
But he doesn't keep them, does he? He fixes his wand with the Elder Wand, then puts it back in Dumbledore's tomb, drops the resurrection stone in the forest, keeps the invisibility cloak, but rejects the mastery.
Exactly. He chooses to abandon that ultimate power, embraces his mortal life, his connections. So both heroes, faced with godhood or mastering death, choose their humanity instead.
That's a powerful shared conclusion, isn't it? Rejecting the ultimate escape in favor of living.
It really is.
So, okay, taking all of this in the shared hero's journey beats, the similar character types, the specific creatures and plot points, these underlying structures, I mean, what does this all really mean? It's a lot.
It brings us right back to that core idea from the source notes, I think. These are, as the source says, truly incredible and groundbreaking stories. They felt completely fresh and original to millions of readers, right?
Absolutely, still do.
Yet they were created by authors who, consciously or maybe unconsciously sometimes, were dipping into ancient storytelling, drawing from old folklore, mythology, these narrative patterns that have resonated with humans for literally thousands of years.
And that's that's the real insight here, isn't it? That you can build something incredibly original, modern, something that speaks so powerfully to today's young readers by using foundations that are millennia old.
Yeah, the power of those ancient archetypes, those story structures, it's clearly still immense. They still work.
So maybe this raises an important question for you listening to kind of mull over, considering how both Rowling and Riordan drew from the same deep well of human myths and archetypes. These centaurs, these specific heroes' journey, choices between ultimate power and mortality. What does it tell you about the fundamental stories and characters that keep resonating generation after generation? Why these stories?